Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. Happy New Year. It's 2023. Can you believe it? Time flies. And we all have new intentions for the year. The one intention I hope that you have is to implement a mental training program for those you lead, whether that be on the field or in the boardroom. Our mindset is everything. It determines how we communicate, it determines our relationship, it determines how we respond. And if you're interested in putting a plan together, reach out. I'd love to help you build something that fits your group specifically. But as we go on to today's tip, I want to remind you of something, or throw it out there and just say, in 2023, you are going to fail. Happy New Year. Yes, we're all going to fail in 2023. It's part of life. In fact, Brendon Burchard, in his book called High Performance Habits, said there are only two narratives in the human story: struggle and progress. And you can't have the latter without the former. And then go on to see what Newton has to say in his 13th law is solutions breed new problems. So every time that we try to get better, every time that we try to implement a New Year's resolution, and a quarter of you won't make it through the week, you're going to fail. Most of us won't make it till February. We're going to fail. Every time we try to get better at something, or we have an intention, there's a good chance that we are not going to be successful, or as successful as we think we are. We strive for perfection, and perfection is not the answer. So the question that we need to really ask ourselves, as I was thinking about this, okay, do we talk about how to stick to our resolutions? No, I didn't fall into that trap. I want to ask the question that we really need to answer is, what are we going to do? What's going to happen when we fall off the proverbial horse? We're going to fail. Now what? We need to ensure that we can get back on the horse. We all know that every good system has a fail-safe. Your car now stops or helps you brake when you get too close to the car in front of you. The airplane has a fail-safe. Your circuit board, your circuit breakers in your house, they shut down when they get overloaded. Everything has a fail-safe. Traffic lights go to blinking when they go out of order. We have plans for when things don't go the way that we want them to go. And that is truly the key to sticking to whatever it is that we're trying to do. Whether we're trying to create a new habit, or whether we're trying to get a little bit better at what it is that we already do, we have to have a place to fail and a way to get back to what we intend. Who cares if we miss one day? I write in my journal almost every night, not every night, but it sits there and I see it right before I go to bed, and then I make a decision on whether I'm going to stick to it or not. But if I don't do it one day, I don't just throw it away. I get back to it again. Think about what the doctor tells you when you miss your medicine. Take it as soon as you think of it, or just skip that dose and go to the next day. You're really no worse for wear. But we need to have a plan. We need to have a clear vision of what both success and failure look like. And then we need to visualize what it feels like to be successful and what it feels like to make a mistake, and then figure out how to get back to where we need to be. The choice is ours. Do we allow one day to turn into a bunch of days? As we know, the compound effect says that we are a culmination of our actions. We build momentum moment by moment. Are we going to build momentum toward what we want and let one little blip take us out of that role? Or are we going to build momentum into making excuses and let that flow? It's not the first mistake that causes the problem. It's the mistakes or the ones we miss that end up stacking. We are our lagging indicators. What we did yesterday does affect today, but really what we do today affects tomorrow. It's that approach, action, results, response cycle that we get into, and that response affects that approach the next time. So it's really about how we respond to the day we miss. In fact, someone asked me, like, what do you do in mental performance training? I said I help people respond better, and that's what my goal is for 2023, is to help myself respond better and everyone I work with, and hopefully even more people that I get to work with throughout the year, respond better. Approach, action, results, response. Our response affects our next approach. So if we respond to a mistake by saying, okay, I missed today, let's get it back on it tomorrow. What's my plan? Then my action will be to do it. My result will be what I want. And then my response again will be, hey, I'm building momentum in this cycle. And that's a good thing. Again, the key is not how do I make this perfect. The key is how do I get where I want to go and allow for a few mistakes, give myself some grace, visualize what it's going to be like to fail, understand what I need to do to make sure I get back to it. I don't work out every single morning. In fact, I didn't work out this morning. But now I have the rest of my day plan to fit it in. Or if I don't fit it in today, which is quite possible, I know what I need to do for the rest of the week, and this is my plan for the week. If I miss again, I adjust. I don't just stop working out, because that's not who I am. What are you going to do to get yourself back on the horse? How are you going to respond to the failures that you face in 2023? There is no growth without failure. There is no progress without failure. But we get to decide how long that failure lasts and what we learn from it. So we have an intention, we skip a day, we either get frustrated or we say, okay, that's human, that's part of it. I knew I was going to fail. Here's what I'm going to do to get back on track. That plan is what makes us stay the course. What's your fail-safe? What's your fail-safe? Do you have something that keeps you from rear-ending? Because that action is going to make a response. Our brakes go on, the lights start to flash, we say, uh-oh, time to get back on track, and then we're back on track and good to go. It seems so simple, and I know it's not that simple, but have a fail-safe. Make a plan. Look at what it looks like to be successful. Take a look and visualize in full detail what it looks like to get screwed up and get back on track. What's your plan? That's the question. So how are you going to deal with what 2023 brings you? There will be failure. Then what? What's your fail-safe? That's the question. If you'd like to implement a program, as I mentioned at the beginning, reach out, juliej@sspperformance.com. Happy New Year. Have a great rest of the week. Until next week, manage the moments, manage your responses, and plug in that fail-safe so you're ready to go when that little adversity strikes. Have a great week.